Um, so yeah, as big as the arms look, to me they look big. They're 17 inches pumped. I mean, when people say they have 20-inch arms, like you don't need to have arms that are that big, right? So yeah, anybody want to pop in questions or anything? That was the first time yesterday I got out the tape, but I didn't had no idea. It honestly was about maybe 2 years prior to doing that. It was because I was on carnivore, and I was like, my arms look good, but they feel small. And I was surprised that when I was really fit, I couldn't even crack 16 without any carbs. Now, with carbs and a pump, they're up to 17, almost, just a smidgen smaller, but they're growing every day, especially when I'm not particularly training. Like those rest days, I did enough today to create a catalyst, a stimulus for a massive amount of muscle growth there. It's about the intensity, you know, which it may not have looked like I did much, but it was more than you think. I'm thinking about parlaying this into a second workout. I think I got enough for some squats, for some lower body now. And I'd really like to add in 3 sets of squats and 3 sets of 2 to 3 sets of TRX sit-ups. Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's grow, right? Let's grow. Let's go. Okay. So we're gonna do some squats. Do some squats. Gonna go into a second workout now where we're doing some squats. And then we're gonna do some TRX sit-ups, full sit-ups with TRX, which adds more tension and pressure than you think. It forces you into this circular motion. So we're just going to do a really basic squat here that we were doing yesterday. I may have to dial it back to 12 reps so I don't pass out, because that's the main thing, is not passing out. So we just did 2.5 hours of walking. We did about 6 miles of walking, did upper body, and now we're going to do some lower body. One, two, that felt good. 12 was good. We're gonna rest because we gotta save it. Gotta save it. Can't use it up all in one shot, man. Gotta save a little bit. We'll be back. Some more water. Keep that water going. So that sudden shift in systemic blood flow can really make you pass out. So you got to be really careful not to do that. A lot of pressure on the vagus nerve. I'm going to pop out and get some fresh air. Need to get a good. So that's the thing where the legs could do more, but the conditioning says no. That's why I was going to stay back to 10. I'm not trying to max out. I'm trying to last, you know. That shows you the tension. Because even right now I could put 185 pounds as exhausted I am, probably at least 135 over my head for reps. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, 10's good. 10's good. It's a lot of weight. That's a 300-pound squat with my body weight. So, this is what I've been doing the past 3 weeks. That I've put at least a solid 3/4 of an inch on my arm. And I didn't have any carbs because I was on carnivore, so pumps are minimal. One more set of squats. This is the second or third time this week. We got these in. Let it ride a little further on the abs this time. Oh yeah, we're feeling it. Alright, I could have done more, but I'm saving it. Because I want to do some core. Well, I want to do some abs, not core. The superficial muscles. rectus abdominis. Alright. That may or may not fall over. About right now is beta alanine if I had some. Or BCAAs would kick it up. Alright, so we're looking for 3 sets, 15. And with the pump and fatigue, I would even be happy with 12. And because all the other muscles supporting this area, the abdominal muscles, are fatigued, particularly all the stress around the vagus nerve. Less means more. Less means more. All right. Let's see. It's not a question of doing more or less. It's about how targeted the muscle is that I'm going after, and it's extremely targeted. My quads were screaming from that. It felt like I was activating just like a bicep and a curl. You know, pretty intense. Pretty intense. Get a little different angle on that, I guess. Without much rest, we're gonna jump right in because this area, it recovers fast. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we got 20, 15, and 12. But the point is we're getting that last set in. Whew. Yeah. Let's walk around a little bit. And hello. Yeah, dang, man. Yeah, I'm getting that pump in finally. Yeah, sorry, I don't really. It's because of my lack of conditioning that I'm getting used to carbs, that I can't do more than one thing. So eventually I'll be interacting, and that'll be a big sign that I'm recovering well. We did 10, so we did a 2.5 hour walk. We did full back, full chest, legs, and then I'm gonna I may save it. I got some abs in just now, so yeah. Where there was 0 pumps before, zero pumps. So we're just gonna go through a recovery. I feel like doing an extra set is this weird thing, so I'm gonna do it. We're ordering up some branch chains. They've always worked for me. Beta alanine really has worked for me, but I've heard things that are contrary. And I think it depends on everything else you're doing. Most people are just doing PEDs and not telling you. I'm not touching those, can't afford them, and even more so. I've done everything that I do on a shoestring, literally. So every choice has to be wise, you know. And I'm gonna be 56, so this is why you work out when you're young. You have to draw, it's kind of like being raised in a certain religion. You're going to get the essence of that religion when you're young. When you get older, it's all dogma. The adults don't know anything about. That's why you have to have respect for everyone's religious practices, even though it's the hardest thing in the world to do. Because to children, that fantasy, that positivity is what keeps it all going. Feels good. Something I learned a long time ago. Pushing that extra too takes away from your next recovery. You want to be driven toward the next and the next and the next. That means you got to have a little something. And people who are like, die hard, go, go, go. Look at them when they're my age. See how gung-ho they are. Whew. So active recovery. This is active recovery. This is when you burn the most fat. And for females, whether you are one or want to hear it or not, the 90% of my clients were females. And I used to make all my female clients look like fucking rock stars, rock starettes. And that created a lot of problems in their lives, how they were seen. Like, be careful what you wish for all around. And I didn't step out of my training because I was fired. I stepped out of my height when they were trying to deify me. And I was one of the first people on YouTube putting up the car videos, living out of my Mercedes, 2007. Shredded as fuck, 65 clients, making 6 figures. My station, my channel was popping. And something I want you to know is that even though the world looks superficial and that everything is transactional, that's not the way it really works. Something is extremely aware of you and everyone else and what you're doing. You can call it technology, you can call it techne. you can call it a computational system, or you can flat out go esoteric, arcane, and spiritual. But to me, there's very little difference between them when you get down to it. All right. I'm pretty fatigued. I feel really good about today. It was a victory for me. Then again, a lot of these old folks' homes, I talked to this one lady who managed several of them. She was interested in me at that time as an employee, because I tried to get in and work with geriatric people, even though I still have 7, 8 coaching certifications, high level, that I had to pay a lot of money for. I didn't want to go in and be involved in the superficial aspects of things. And there's a real difference between the two. So I'm going to designate this portion to talking to people, maybe answer some questions. Just to let you know, I get the physical thing out of the way because I'm interested in the esoteric, the technology. Yeah, Emma Sinard, how you doing? Just worked out. I got several new subs and just talking, answering questions, chatting for 1 minute, and then I got to go hit some protein. I have some chicken to make. I have some beef liver to fry up, and 56 years old. Every day's a victory, just being alive and breathing, and just try to keep going, And I would love to say at times, not say glory to God and all that, but it's something that's personal inside of you. Once you talk about God, it diminishes. The kids know about God, and the sick adults, like with Michael Aquino, which I follow really closely, all these programmed killers, the Monarch Project or Operation Monarch, Operation Gladio, 1001 Club. I follow this stuff really closely, but it's boring to talk about because we never get anywhere with this subject either. You have to put it into active use, and the active use is you got to get walking, you got to get moving, then you meditate, then you spin those spheres that are talked about, like with Metatron's cube, and then you'll see. Now, I'm not trying to be young, I'm just trying to be me. I've been training since I was 13 years old, on and off, and I spent a lot of time training and training other people, and it's been many years since I have. I transitioned away from it, went through some really weird experiences that most would say, is it UFOs, is it ghosts, is it paranormal? And where I go with it is I haven't found one thing, including the Bible, that can't be explained by way of technology. Technology's on a whole fucking other level. But then you have to ask yourself, where does technology end and where does spirituality begin? And even more so, how can you use a term like ontology or epistemology and then spirituality, or the liminal terms that are used, hypnagogic states or what have you? How can you not use those synonymously, right? And this is the Welt. And what is the Umwelt? What is the Weltanschauung or the Weltanschauung-Krieg? What is the real world? That's the biggest question. All right, folks, coming at you, eating lots of carbs. This is me on carbs. That's me on carbs, right? That's me on carbs. All right, carbs are good for you.